down at the using crack and cocaine to get high. That's what you say you love.
Welcome. Episode 24, Too Much Coffee. Man, we're going to have some fun today. We've been laughing for days listening to these videos, getting ready for this. PSAs, public service announcements. You know PSAs, right? If you watch cartoons in the late 80s or the 90s, I guess because we were talking about cartoons all last week.
Yeah.
And I guess this just was rumbling around in my head since we were talking about cartoons anyway. But if you watch cartoons in the 80s, if you watch cartoons in the early, maybe mid 90s, when the hero would get done kicking people's asses all over the place, at the end, they had to do a little PSA like, listen, kids, look both ways before you cross the street.
Look, it's kind of like Ultima 4 where Richard Garriott got a letter talking about how violent the games are and there's no moral to it. And he's like, well, I guess I'll just make a game with morals.
That's funny.
They did that with TV shows, except not as well, because Ultima 4 is a really good game.
It's like the scales of justice. You got the violence on one side, ass kicking.
Yeah.
And it's the ass kicking is like weighing the scale down. You're like, we got to do something to even this back out. So let's put He-Man on the other side telling you to do your homework and eat your vegetables, and you're going to even it out.
True.
So that's what happened. PSAs are hilarious. They are freaking hilarious. We've been going through PSAs for days, finding the choicest cuts, the sweetest PSAs, the most hilarious PSAs to play for you here today. So today is all about public service announcements. You can go all the way back to the 50s if you wanted to. This stuff started with World War II, World War I.
It kind of depends on how you want to think about it.
The roots are kind of in propaganda/war videos, where the government is buy war bonds, or you can help the war by doing this and that. You know, Uncle Sam was trying to get you to do everything he could so they could go fight this war. And then it turned into general messages of, little Timmy, when you cross the road, make sure you look left and right before you run into the street, or a little car is going to come and crush you and your mommy's going to cry. Little Timmy, when a stranger offers you candy, don't take it.
Yeah.
Don't talk to strangers. When the nuclear bombs are being dropped out of the planes, Jack, duck and cover.
Duck and cover.
Cover.
And I just remembered in elementary school, we had a PSA they showed us about school bus safety. And I always remembered, when the school bus stops, it brings that arm out.
Yeah.
I guess tells you how far you're supposed to be away from the bus. I just remember them literally calling being any closer to the bus than that the death zone in the video.
Death zone. Stay
hardcore.
out of the death zone.
No screwing around. If you hear, you will die.
You will die. 100 kids are killed every year because they strayed into the death zone. Stay out.
That's right.
So you've got those war ones. You get into don't cross the street, blah, blah, blah. Don't do drugs. Do your homework. There are some great ones from the 40s and 50s that are here's how you choose a date.
Yeah.
Little Timmy, how do you choose who to take on the date? I don't know. Maybe Sandy. Sandy is a little bit uptight and aloof. She may not be the most fun to take out on your date. Maybe Tammy would be fun. Tammy doesn't know how to have a good conversation. Tammy would not be a good date for you, little Timmy. Try again. Maybe Janice would be good. Janice knows how to have a great time. She's a lot of fun. She's a swell gal.
Swell.
You should ask her to the dance. Well, how do I ask her to the dance? Anyway, you can watch all these old videos. They're so hilarious. And they teach little kids, life skills, the things that your parents are supposed to be teaching you. But it's mommy's taking Vicodin and daddy's going to work. So the TV is just going to tell me how to do all this, basic stuff.
I guess
people
better
need to
than
know
nobody.
how to do. Sure, somebody's got to tell you. So we're not going back all the way that far, but go on YouTube, look up ancient PSAs, 50s PSAs, and enjoy a laugh on us. We're going to start in the 1970s, baby. Who knew that the fight for equal pay for equal work goes all the way back to the 70s? We've got here a PSA featuring, this is the 1960s Batman. Just listen.
A ticking bomb means trouble for Batman and Robin.
Holy, breaking and entering. It's Batgirl. Quick.
You've got to love that.
I love this PSA so much. It's so good.
Holy, breaking and entering Batman. Do you remember that new, what was that last one with, what's his face, Chris O'Donnell? He's like, holy rusted metal Batman.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
No, the metal, it's full of holes. It's rusty. It's full of holes.
In the 90s.
Oh, man, this is classic. All right, here we go.
Batgirl, untie us before it's too late.
It's already too late. I've worked for you a long time, and I'm paid less than Robin.
Man, look at her.
I love it.
She knows when to negotiate. She's a smart negotiator.
True.
The bomb's ticking, and he's like, please help. Well, let's talk about my pay for
Good
just
on her,
a second.
honestly. Yeah.
Look at that face he's making. Here we go. Women are getting it. Women are complaining again. That face on Robin, he's just like, not again.
That needs to be the thumbnail.
That would actually be a great thumbnail.
Same job, same employer means equal pay for men and women.
No time for jokes, Batgirl.
True.
Hey, you're really funny, but can you please disarm the bomb?
Haha, good one.
Yes, that's a good one. Haha, you're very funny.
Good one, Toots.
It's no joke. It's the federal equal pay law.
Holy act of Congress.
If you're not getting equal pay, contact the Wage and Hour Division, U.S. Department of Labor.
That's so
awesome.
good.
I love it.
That's what we're talking about, people. PSAs. There are so many hilarious PSAs. We're going to take you through a few of our favorites. So we've been looking them up. We're going to let's start with classic stop smoking. Okay. The government has not wanted you to smoke for a long time. And, the government, no way that's going to work. But let me tell you what will work.
True.
Violent J, Shaggy 2 Dope from the Insane Clown Posse. They'll get you to stop smoking.
I love this PSA.
Public service announcement to the Juggalo Underground. Stop smoking if you can. We want to grow old together, grow ancient together. So fuck smoking.
Yeah.
Now listen, if you guys don't know the Insane Clown Posse, you should go check. Surely you know about the Insane. They're like notorious, dude. Everybody knows about the Insane Clown Posse. These guys are two rappers from Detroit. I think Detroit, but from around there anyway. Yeah. So they come, same. They grew up the same way Eminem did. So that's the same like milieu. That created Eminem, created the ICP, the Insane Clown Posse. These guys have clown makeup and they're rappers, and they were rapping about. You know what? I'm not even going to get into it. It's a whole backstory. It's a whole lore, dude. They've got like festivals and carnivals. And
they're huge.
The federal government says that their fans are a gang. So whatever. Check them out. Let me tell you something. Shaggy looking pretty big in this. Not Shaggy, the Violent J looking pretty big in this PSA. Let's keep going.
It's been about three and a half years, something like that. I quit smoking real cigarettes and switched over to these electronic boys. A lot more, not better for you, but just not as bad, and you ain't got the chemicals.
Yeah, I don't want to quibble, but if something's not as bad, it is better for you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Although probably don't smoke electronic cigarettes if you can help.
Definitely don't smoke those ones from China that were exploding.
Oh,
you remember those stories? You remember those stories? That was years ago, but like some of these, I guess they were cheap or messed up or something, but the battery would overheat and explode while you were smoking it.
I remember the story about the Galaxy Note. They had the batteries that would explode, like literally catch fire.
Crazy, dude.
And somebody modded the grenades in one of the Grand Theft Auto games to be the Samsung Note. Whatever it is. So you're throwing notes at people.
Hilarious. Dude, did you see, I posted on Twitter the other day, did you see that video from New York City? This dude's just walking around the street and there's like an explosion out of the sewer or something? I'd never even seen that before. It was crazy.
Could be worse.
Dude, I know New York stinks. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying, I guess it could be worse. There's the story about PG&E in California, electrical utilities company. I don't remember the whole story, but pretty unscrupulous generally. And it was found that some of their gas lines were, ancient and needed to be replaced badly.
Yeah.
And the government was like, well, here's a couple million or whatever, how much it costs to fix it. So take this money and fix it. And they just took it, and the CEOs just took the money. And somewhere in California,
right in my back pocket.
Somewhere in California, like a giant fireball exploded and killed like 80 people.
80 people?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Whew, you got to watch these corporations, man.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to people making money, people are going to put money in their pockets.
Yeah. No, it's
way
insane.
before they give a crap
Yeah.
about you and your family.
And I guess New York really needs to replace those pipes too. So get on it, New York, please.
That was insane.
Yeah, that
Some
was
dude was just
ridiculous.
walking down the street, and there is literally like a fireball that explodes
Yeah,
out of
it's insane.
like a grate or something. Just in New York City, I'd never even heard. I heard about the rats.
Yeah.
I heard about homeless people. You can't buy cigarettes because they cost $100 a pack because the government doesn't want you to smoke. You might find some needles on the ground or something. I don't know, but I never heard about fireballs erupting
me
out of
neither.
the sewer. Let's get back to this.
makes your day exciting.
Let's get back to this PSA.
Word up. What up, this young wicked? I quit smoking at the end of the Mighty Death Pop tour. Done so.
What up, this Bones Dub, A&B representing. I smoked for 18.
That music is so loud. They need to turn this music bed down. This is horrific.
years and quit 6 days ago.
Yo, what up? My name's Chop. I quit smoking 2 years ago because that shit's lame.
I love it. These are classic juggalos.
Oh yeah.
Tats all the way up their neck. That guy's hat was barely on his head. It was any wind would blow that guy's hat off his head. It was sitting right on top. I mean, whatever. I don't care, dude.
Yeah.
But it's just funny.
What up, y'all? I'm Sugar Slam, and I quit smoking on 6/13/14.
If you can't do it, we got nothing but love for you regardless. But if you can, stop smoking. We want to grow ancient together. Yeah.
That is why people love the Insane Clown
Yep.
Posse.
I mean, I don't listen to ICP, but I love
their
their stuff.
fans.
Yeah,
They
they're
love
so
them.
like wholesome and like.
They're
way.
both, yeah. They'll have a song about chopping people's heads off.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, listen, y'all, we just having a good time. It's all about God. It's one
Yeah.
love. We want to tell y'all we love y'all.
It's
We
about
family,
love.
y'all.
Yeah.
Hysterical. But that's why, whatever. All right. This one is just bizarre. This is from 1991. This is another, I think this is the last one about smoking we got. Check this one out.
Hey, little dude, send your mama and daddy out of the room. I gotta get you up on this. You know who I am. Snake, dealing in weed, coke, crack, your choice.
Okay, so we got this guy on the street looking right at you. Okay, street stuff going on. It's nighttime. This guy looking like a drug dealer, and he's moving his hands like he's rapping at you, but he's just telling us all about, what. Let's see.
Take one hit and you'll do anything to cop more. Steal from your mama, lie, cheat on your homeboys. But hey, that's the price you pay when you do.
Okay. Now you can't see this, but he's getting built up now, and he walks past this post, and when he comes out the other side, something's wrong. You can tell something's wrong with him, but he's in the dark, so you can't see him very well. Let's keep going.
Deal with dudes like me. Now, some folks will tell you that I'm dealing in poison. But hey, do I look like the kind of guy that would do that to a kid like you? Yes.
So he comes out, he walks out the darkness, all of a sudden, he's
so
just got
good.
a snake head and like huge snake fangs,
It's
and he's
so
like,
You definitely need to put this playlist in the description.
oh, that's a great idea. This is creative. Listen, whoever comes up with these things,
No, it's great. It makes a lot of sense, honestly, from the
this
perspective
is just
of
entertainment. I
a
don't
drug
know.
dealer selling poison. There's a snake.
I don't think any of this would ever work. None of this is going to keep you from doing drugs or like smoking or none of that stuff. No kid is ever going to watch this and be like, you know what? You're right. The drug dealer is a snake. I'm not messing around with that. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not buying cigarettes. But it's hilarious entertainment.
Yeah, and some of them are pretty creative, like this one. Yeah.
You know that the government just wasted so much tax money on stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no opinion.
Well, sometimes you just got to try stuff and see what happens. It'd be interesting to see a study on how much this actually worked. I'm sure
I would
it did
really
nothing.
be curious to know. Listen, maybe it did change. You put this stuff out in the air, and sometimes it's like maybe you are doing some good.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Some of these PSAs, you're looking at these people like doing drugs, and like, man, they look like they're having a pretty good time right now.
I
think it might have the opposite effect.
I should
Like, dang, all these kids look really cool standing out in the street smoking, hanging out.
I should have looked up some to see if there were studies on this, because that'd be interesting to read about actually.
If we find some studies about it, we'll tweet it with the show.
Because I feel like they did nothing, but they're interesting nonetheless. Because it just feels like some lame uncle or something like telling you about it.
Yeah, it's like an interesting social. It's exactly what it feels like. It feels like a lame uncle or parent, like your dad sits down with you and he's all awkward and he's like, look, man, you know, while he's putting his cigarette out in the ashtray, he's like, look, don't be like me, okay? Cigarettes aren't cool. You know, you get addicted. They cost a lot of money. They make your breath stink.
Your dad walks in, does the double bird, and says, fuck smoking.
Your dad comes in with clown makeup with a big juggalo chain around his neck. Screw smoking, man.
F smoking.
Don't do that. If you can't stop smoking, we got love for y'all. But if you can, we want to grow ancient together.
Yeah. I'm sure most of these are probably coming from a decent place, but I can't imagine they ever worked.
Let's look at. Did anybody else watch Pee Wee's Playhouse growing up?
Oh, Lord.
I watched Pee Wee. You remember Pee Wee, right?
Yep.
Now, if you're a little younger than me, maybe you don't know much about Pee Wee because I think he just sort of like disappeared. But Pee Wee, when I was a kid, was huge. So it's a kid show, goofy kid show. This guy played a character named Pee Wee. Started off as some kind of stage show and turned into a kids program. So for whatever reason, somebody decided to have Pee Wee Herman do a. They know Pee Wee always had like that crazy voice, right?
Yeah.
Hey kids, Pee Wee. That's Pee Wee. That's what Pee Wee sounded like. Now,
I forgot about the Clint Eastwood one too. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Oh, I don't. We'll check that out too.
That'll be a spontaneous.
That's bonus. Yeah, right, let's check this out. A public service announcement. Light. Pee Wee is sitting. Face revealed. So it's just funny to start with. Pee Wee standing there with his goofy makeup on, with his little red bow tie and his suit. All right, let's get serious.
This is crack.
This is crack.
I can't take it seriously.
You can't.
Rock cocaine. It isn't glamorous or cool.
Let's talk about glamorous and cool. You remember when this guy got busted in a movie theater?
Hell yeah. What'd you think you'd be able to do that in a adult movie theater?
You remember this guy getting busted in an adult movie theater doing a little something?
It's like,
you
well,
can
hey,
guess.
That's what I'm here for, man. Come on.
All right.
Or kid stuff. It's the most addictive kind of cocaine, and it can kill you. What's really bad is nobody knows how much it takes. So every time you use it, you risk dying.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it exciting. You never know.
Yeah, it's like hot potato.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so fun. That I've never heard that story about crack. It's like saying anytime you do it could be the last time.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know. It's like Russian roulette.
It isn't worth it. Look.
Hardly.
Everybody wants to be cool. But doing it with crack isn't just wrong. It could be dead wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even try it. I'm sold. Don't do it.
Yeah. Well, now I got to try it.
Little kid's a Pee Wee fan and watches this and they're like, you're right, Pee Wee. Not even once.
Thanks, Pee Wee.
I want to see that in the context of the show. What's his face? Cowboy Curtis comes walking in and says, hey, Pee Wee, I got something you need to try. What's that? It's called crack cocaine. No way, Cowboy Curtis. Not even once.
No way, Jose.
You thought Pee Wee's Playhouse was trippy before. Wait till he gets on that crack cocaine. We're getting into the drug stuff. I meant to tell you, starting with Pee Wee, let's get into some of these drugs. So we did the smoking stuff. Now we're getting into the drug stuff, which I meant to say, but I just totally slipped. These are so funny that I lose myself laughing at these PSAs, and I forget to tell you what's going on. So Pee Wee Herman, let's look at one more. This one is a classic. This is a kid this is a kid in the 80s. Sitting on his bedroom, he's got a couple drumsticks. He's listening to some music, just hanging out. His dad comes busting in.
80s kid stuff.
It's yours?
And his dad just opened a box with some drugs in it, and he is not happy.
No,
My mother said she found it in your closet.
Let me tell you what's funny about this before we even get into it. He never gives this kid a chance to say a word.
Yeah.
It's like that terrible teacher in class when they ask you a question and then they wait 1 second and then they just say it. And they give you no time to think. That's exactly what he does. Let me back it up. Just listen to this. Listen to how he gives him no time to explain himself.
No,
My mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not.
did you get it?
I'm just holding it for a friend.
Answer me.
Dad, give me a second. Damn.
I like that he's just holding drumsticks.
Remember that Dave Chappelle, that old special where he grabs his head, he's like, let me think. His wife caught him, cheating or something. Like he had like lipstick on his clothes. Let me think. Dad, give me a second. All right, let's back up just a little bit.
Get it.
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Powerful. Powerful stuff.
So that was for the parents, right? That's not for, is that for the kids?
That's true, yeah.
I guess it's for the kids. It's like, look, just because your dad does crack doesn't mean you have to do crack. And it's for the parents who are like, watching that, you're about to light the pipe. You're like, oh, you know what? I better lock my kid's door, make sure they don't see me doing this. I don't want them to see me doing this.
Yeah, true. I mean, you can't really tell them anything if you're doing it.
Do what I say, not what I do, right? Jimmy, I said lock your damn door. Daddy's busy.
Said light the pipe. It reminded me think of him like smoking out of a Coke can or something. Or like
people get real creative. Back in school when like you're a kid and nobody's got money and they want to make a bong or something.
Yeah.
You get real creative. You make an apple into one.
Yeah.
You could turn a like a can into one.
Yeah.
You can take like
use anything.
Plastic bottle, turn that into one.
There was some movie where they did use an apple. I forget what it was.
By the way, we were looking at Reefer Madness, which we may be doing a show on in a few weeks.
Classic movie.
And the beginning of that show, the first 5 minutes, I could see people taking notes. Like they had the marijuana cigarette machine set up. Dude's like, well, here's how you strip all the bud off. And then he's like, oh, well, here's the machine. You put the paper on it like this. They might as well have given you a manual with like step-by-step instructions to go with it. And you put the bud inside the paper like this and shink, shink. That's how you make the marijuana cigarette. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, they should be taking notes about how to sell drugs based on the beginning of this movie. Anyway, Reefer Madness is like hilarious, and
It's wonderful.
We're either going to talk about that one.
It's a classic, of course.
We're either going to talk about that one or what was it called? Sex Maniac?
Well, that guy made a bunch of movies. Looks like I'm just going to look through them. I might watch them.
We're going to decide which one of those to use.
We'll just do it about the guy. It might be interesting.
I've got a PSA right here. This one is, I don't even know what first, it has to be from another country because they are dropping some words.
Oh, yeah. You sent me this one, and it was just like, I just did not expect. It was wild.
This one
it got
is
dark real
wild.
fast.
This one has nothing to do with drugs. Just check it out.
You're doing a real good job on your picture.
Coffee.
Please.
Listen to how nice he is.
I know.
Now, to be fair, this woman is terrible at pouring. Watch the way she pours this coffee. Look at that. So the guy's in a restaurant with his 2 kids, and the waitress comes up. Would you like some coffee? Yes, please. And she's just it's like she's got her eyes closed and she's not even looking. And she's the coffee's just going all over the place.
For the point of the
of course,
thing. Yeah.
And the guy's looking at this with the look on his face like in complete disgust. Like, what are you doing?
I'd like some more too, for sure.
She spilled my coffee.
Kids could not care less.
Yeah. It's not even that.
Kids are so bored.
It's the definition of like not a big deal. It's just like whatever.
All right, here we go.
I'm sorry, sir.
You f***ing bitch.
Whoa!
I know.
When
that happened, I was like, whoa, holy crap.
Because PSAs are like commercials.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what country this is. I know they have different rules about cursing in other countries.
Yeah.
This ain't no commercial you would have seen, after G.I. Joe on television over here. I don't know what this is. This guy absolutely loses it. Let me back up a little bit. All right, here we go.
I'm sorry, sir.
You f***ing bitch.
I'll bring a little coffee.
That's horrible.
You wouldn't get away with it here. You shouldn't get away with it at home.
Yeah, that's a rough one. When
So
I saw that, I was like, Whoa! Holy crap!
What was that line from Anchorman? That really
escalated quickly.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. I mean,
you heard it.
Yeah.
He leaps up, he grabs the woman, holds her down the table, pours hot coffee all over her. Everybody else is looking like, what's going on? What's going on? She starts screaming. He slaps her across the face.
Yeah.
And he just sits down to finish his food.
Like nothing happened.
By the way, his kids are like, whatever, Dad. Dad, you're so embarrassing. Look at them. Just chilling.
He does this everywhere.
And I guess the whole idea is, don't do this to your kids at your house.
Yeah. It's about domestic violence, which of course is terrible.
Again, how could this ever work? I mean, I guess is the idea supposed to be that a guy sees this or whatever and feels shame, or that the wife sees this and she's like, this is unacceptable, we got to do something. But it's like, yeah, there's just no way that you could show this to somebody and they'd be like, you know what? Yeah. You got a good point there. I'm going to stop it.
Yeah, I feel like if somebody's being abusive, they probably need other help besides
Dude,
PSA.
If you've got the anger issue that you would like beat your wife and slap your kids around and stuff, this ain't going to do nothing for you.
Yeah, you're probably not going to watch this and be like, I need to change my ways.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I got kids. I know how much
a
kid can make you crazy.
Yeah.
Because kids don't care about your day, your mood,
True.
They don't care if you didn't sleep and that you're sick and that you had a bad day and that you burned dinner and the dog's barking. They don't care about any of that. And sometimes kids will drive you crazy. And as a parent, sometimes you snap, you mouth off, whatever, and you feel bad about it. But I will say, I don't believe I ever held my kid down and poured hot coffee on him and slapped him across the face and said, I said, clean your damn room.
Yeah, that's a wild PSA.
Whew. Yeah, the escalation is incredible. Let's look at some. So as we mentioned, it looks like the first cartoon, because I remember growing up and cartoons had PSAs. So you watch the cartoon, Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, something like that. And
I remember the Sonic Says.
See the adventure. Oh, yeah, Sonic Says. And you see the adventure, and then at the end, He-Man would say whatever. He'd say, hey, kids, I know life is hard, but do your best. And then he'd jump off on Cringer and whatever. So I remember watching it with cartoons that had those PSAs, and that seems like it was like an 80s thing. So like early 80s through maybe the early to mid 90s, that was like a fad in cartoons. And it seems like He-Man was the first one to do it.
Yeah.
It looks like. From all the research that we've done, He-Man was the first one. And the reason they did it, which is kind of funny, it's like the people who were writing He-Man, it I guess felt like, man, there's so much violence in the show.
Yeah.
People getting punched and like they got swords and people were doing battle. And, all this stuff is going on. It's like, it's so violent. We need to do something for the kids to like, I don't know what. I guess they felt like they were doing something bad. Like,
which, I mean, is
it immoral? Is it immoral to tell a story like a He-Man story where you got a lot of action and stuff going on? You feel like you're messing kids up.
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to do a little something to even this out. We'll just put this good message and this moral at the end.
Yeah.
So let's look at... I didn't even know if I should play this one, to be honest.
Which one?
This one is so crazy.
Oh, all
right. This is from He-Man, okay? Now, I understand things like look both ways before crossing the street. Don't make your parents cut the crust off your sandwich. Just eat it. Don't be a diva. But listen to this one. This is He-Man.
I don't think I've actually watched this
Shira
one.
and I want to talk to you about something that's very personal. Your body.
Remember, it's your body and no one should touch you in a way that you feel is wrong.
I mean, anybody who tries it.
It's not that easy, Orko. It's hard for a young person to admit that he or she has been touched in a...
Oof, man.
I think that's fair enough.
This one hits me in the guts. Now, this one, honestly, is probably the most... If I were just guessing, who knows? But if I were just guessing, this is probably the most useful PSA you could possibly put out. You got some poor kid. And when you're a kid, you just don't know what to do. Especially when it's somebody you trust messing with you. And if you saw something like this, maybe it would, I should tell my teacher or something. So I actually appreciate this, but watching an episode of He-Man and then bam, this hitting you, it's like,
whew, whiplash.
God. It's like the fun fantasy of childhood cartoons smashes up against the reality of your
Yeah.
shitty life right now because your freaking uncle or somebody. Anyway, whatever. It's freaking horrible.
Bad way.
If you've been touched that way, don't be ashamed.
By the way, He-Man is pointing at me. I feel like he's really talking to me when he's saying this. He-Man, I'm fine.
Tell someone you trust, like your parents, your doctor, your teacher, or counselor, or your minister or rabbi.
Right, Orko? Right on!
And it's so cheerful. They got the music.
Yeah. Well,
If someone's touching you in a way you don't like. Oh my god!
Yeah, I think that's probably.
That is
I think it's probably
brutal.
a decent PSA. That seems fine.
It's just
Sonic had
freaking
one
brutal.
too.
Like what? Like that?
Yeah.
This is the one I wanted you to listen to, and I'll explain why in just a second. All right, this one is from He-Man. Here's another He-Man PSA.
As we've just seen, Skeletor went back into the past to make evil things happen. In reality, no one can go back into the past. That's only make-believe.
First of all, that's funny all by itself. Listen, dummy, there's no such thing as time travel.
Hey, idiot.
Okay? Listen, kids, this is all fake.
Put those crystals down. You're not going back in time.
But we can try to learn from the past, from things that have happened to us, and try to apply them toward being better people today.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, it's today that counts.
Not wrong.
So make it the best day possible. Until next time, this is He-Man wishing you good health and good luck.
Thanks, He-Man.
That was not it.
That's awesome.
That was not it. But that's funny. Anyway. Okay, I think this one is really funny.
I'd like to talk to you for just a moment about safety. When we go to the beach, there are lifeguards there to watch out for our safety.
He-Man, you're completely destroying the fantasy. I'm supposed to be in fantasy world, get immersed in your world. You're talking to me about lifeguards at the beach? There's no lifeguards at the beach in Eternia?
What you mean?
Crossing guards are in the street for the same reason.
Crossing guards in the street, He-Man? You are a barbarian with a sword. Why are you talking to me about crossing guards?
Here.
To help protect us. Now, things like that are fine, but we can't count on someone always being around to protect us.
Good.
We should practice thinking of safety all the time. So don't take a chance. And that's true whether you're crossing a street or driving a car.
I don't want He-Man talking to me about driving a car. I just think it ruins everything. It's so bizarre to listen to He-Man who's riding a giant cat, a green cat. He's got a sword on his back, like it's the 1200s. There are castles all around. There's magic and sorcery, and he's like, listen to the traffic cop when he's telling you how to cross the street. Don't get hit by a car.
He-Man always looks both ways when he crosses the moat. Always.
Look both ways before swimming across the...
Look for gators.
Hey, man. Come on, dude.
Oh, that's so good.
All right, let's look at some Transformers. I got a So tons of these 80s cartoons had PSAs. Let's look at one from the Transformers.
I'm running.
I know lots of people watched the Transformers when they were kids. I never watched it really.
I didn't either. Honestly,
here's Bumblebee to teach you a lesson. Turn the volume up.
Tell me about it,
Away
Bumblebee.
from home. My parents are mean. Where will you go? I'm not sure, but I'll show them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love that
You'll
sound.
show them how mean you can be.
Bumblebee.
Isn't it better to try to solve problems instead of running away from them?
Maybe I could try talking to my parents again.
Yeah, tell them how you feel. And remember, running away
leads nowhere. Now I know.
And knowing is half the battle.
The classic knowing is half the battle.
Thanks, Bumblebee. Appreciate
I'm just
it.
imagining, what did he say? Talk to your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, aren't the parents a problem?
Yeah, no.
You're just going to go
I
talk
guess
to
that's
mom
the idea.
and
You
like,
just confront it head on. Just like go talk to him.
and I appreciate that, but this is way too mature for a 10-year-old. Mom, I'd like to speak to you about the situation in the house. I just find it to be completely unacceptable. My mental health is struggling, and
Mom,
I think we need to make some changes around
allowance?
here. I mean, it's good advice, but I just don't know how any kid could use it or how it would even work. We were talking a little bit about that, the joke ones.
Oh, yeah.
From the last show. If you didn't listen to the last show.
Yeah. Early internet G.I. Joe PSAs.
Yeah, this is like old school internet. This is somebody took
YouTube.
all those G.I. Joe PSAs and they messed with them and overdubbed with weird voices and sounds and stuff. This is one. Let's just play it. I think it's funny.
Mom, Dad, come here.
Okay. To set it up, there's a kid. He's just standing on a cliff right next to the ocean. And he's calling to his mom and dad. Okay? Let's see if you can figure out what happens.
Mom, Dad, come here. You gotta see this. This is so
G.I. Joe.
That's my favorite of those parody G.I. Joe PSAs. Now that I think about it, I guess it's really not. It's very visual.
It's literally 9 seconds. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's called PSA Boy falls off cliff. And it's just this kid, Mom and Dad, look at me. The rock breaks and he falls down. Oh shit. And then you hear it, G.I. Joe. It's a classic.
That's my favorite one.
We love that one. Those are like, they're so dumb and they're so weird. You might think they're so dumb, but
some of them are hit or miss, but some of them are really good.
if you just watch a bunch of them back to back, some of them you'll just stare at, and then some of them will crack you up.
Hey
The
kid, I'm a
G.I. Joes.
computer.
Now
Body
here's
massage,
this
pork
is a
chop
real.
sandwiches.
I'm making a pork chop sandwich. This one is really weird. It's from some show called The Centurions, which I never watched. Just listen to this. This is a bizarre.
This is wild.
This is from a kid's show.
Whatever the challenge, they are ready.
They're ready, the Centurions. Whatever they are. Some cartoon from the 90s.
You picked the right card 3 times in a row. That's amazing, Shadow. There are some people and animals who have a knack for knowing what's going to happen. They have a special ability known as extrasensory perception, ESP.
Oh my.
I know, it's wild.
Gosh. Extrasensory perception.
I can't.
This is hilarious.
I can't imagine watching that back in the day, being kind of older, and you just like take a second, like, what? What are they talking about?
What?
Is that real? Did I just have a fever dream?
That lady on Montel is for real? The one who can talk to the dead people? Is that real?
Uri Geller was right.
You can bend a spoon just by thinking about it?
It's crazy.
One form of ESP is telekinesis. It's the ability to move.
I like that not only are they telling you ESP is basically real, but they're explaining the different forms of it.
Of course, you got to know.
Move objects with nothing more than willpower. Not all scientists agree that ESP powers are real.
Well, at least we're bringing science into it.
A lot of testing and studying is being done in hopes of developing consistent findings.
And that's it.
It just stops.
It's like, wow, who put that in there?
ESP is real. Telekinesis is real, and scientists are trying to figure out exactly how it works. All right,
wild.
kids, see you next week for the next episode of Centurions. That is
I wonder how
hilarious.
many kids saw that and then were like trying to like move a pencil or something.
Did
with their
you
mind.
ever see Sylvia Brown? I think she was on Montel.
I don't think so.
Sylvia Brown was just some old blonde lady. I don't know. She sounded like she smoked cigarettes her whole life. She had a real deep voice. She kind of talked like this.
Yeah.
But I always saw her on like Montel Williams, like kind of trashy talk show.
Yeah.
And she would come on, and her shtick was that she was a psychic and she could speak to people who were dead. So literally what would happen? So you'd have audience members and Montel's up there, and they're like, all right, we're taking questions from the audience. You. And some, poor person who lost a loved one would get up and say, I want to know, my husband and I had a fight, just before he died. And I just want to know, I want some peace to know that he's in a better place and to know that there's peace between us before he passed. And she'll just kind of sit for a second. She'll say, yeah, he says everything's cool. It's all good. And what was always funny to me, not only is she pretending to talk to dead people, she just said, you can just say whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But it was instantaneous. So someone would just stand up and ask her a question, and then she just answer it. She just got the answer instantly.
Just completely exploiting somebody's
and everyone's
tragedy
just
and
accepting
like,
this. Like it's like I could possibly believe this. It's the
wild.
most bizarre, hilarious thing I've ever seen. Sylvia, listen, my husband passed away, and he never told me where the key to the garage was. Could you ask him where it? He says it's up your ass.
I'll have to look that up. I've never seen those. That's wild.
You should look it up. Yeah. All right. This one is hilarious. We're going to end on this one, but we're going to we got a bonus one, which is not really a PSA, but it's a commercial, and I think it's so funny. We're going to play it anyway because I don't care. I just want to do it. This one is fake, a fake PSA.
It's fake, but it's too good to not
But
put in there.
it's
so
perfectly in the
good.
style of PSAs, and it's so funny that we have got to play it. Oh, I forgot this one. All right. I'm so sorry. I went over one in my list, and this one is so funny. I'm playing it for you anyway. We're going back to drugs for 1 second.
Hell yeah.
This one, all right. Imagine this guy is on a like an operating table, and he's surrounded by surgeons and doctors and stuff.
Doc, what's wrong with you?
Oh, this is so
Tonsillitis?
All right. Let me set this up. The guy is smoking a reefer cigarette. The doctor is smoking a reefer cigarette, talking to his patient, who for some reason is not asleep. Here we go.
Yeah, it's a cool doctor.
Doc, what's wrong with you? Tonsillitis?
Appendicitis.
Yeah! Nobody's died of tonsillitis around here for a while.
Sounds like the Joker.
Appendicitis.
Nothing to worry about.
Listen to that music.
Oh.
It's all good, baby. Give me another hit.
Scalpel?
What if the joint were in somebody else's hand, like your surgeon, your lawyer, or your local...
I love that they do a close-up of the joint right there. What if the joint were in someone else's hand?
I love the way he closes his hand on the scalpel. It's so like insidious.
Oh, you're right. He puts the scalpel in his hand. He's closed it like he's going to stab you with it like Psycho.
What if the joint were in somebody else's hand, like your surgeon, your lawyer, or your local policeman? Would you still say marijuana is harmless?
Now, let's see if I can still make a straight line.
That's what I want doing my surgery.
That was so good.
It's awesome.
That one is one, too, that just looks funny. You should just go watch that one. Oh, I love it. All right. Let's do Virginity is Cool, man. All right. So some guy wearing a tie for some reason and some girl, like teenagers,
bunch of nerds,
walk into a bedroom.
Hey, Nicholas.
Yes, babe?
I think I'm ready. You know, to have sex.
Hell yeah.
I figured you'd say that, so I came prepared.
You brought a condom?
No, silly.
And the looks on their faces are half the fun, too. Like, she's got an extra button down on her shirt, and she's just looking at him like, oh, yeah, baby. Bust that condom out.
Nick. Kind of kinky.
So he takes her over to the closet and opens the door, which is funny to take her to the closet. And
yeah, it's wild.
He chains her to the rack that you put your clothes on.
I rigged this room with explosives. Having sex is a sin. Have fun running in hell, Beth.
Nick! Nick! No! Wait!
He's leaving.
Nick, please!
He's got the detonator in his hand. Boom. Virginity is cool. Remain pure. Oh, he walks out, throws the shades up, holds up the detonator. Boom. Right in hell, Beth. Boom.
It's too good.
That's what you do with sinners that want to have premarital sex.
Poor Beth just trying to get her rocks off.
Why don't you go have some premarital sex with the devil, Beth?
Got blown up.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. R.I.P. Beth. That's one guy who didn't know how to party.
Oh, Lord.
He did not know how to party.
Oh, man.
Whew. All right. I love that one. And I think they have a whole, what was it called? Skycore?
I don't know.
Skycore Home Video is the name of the channel. They must, I think they do maybe more of those. Like it's a whole channel of just fake stuff. So we might need to check out some more of those. It's pretty funny. All right, we're going to give you a bonus. This is not a PSA per se. Might as well be. Our man Billy Dee. You remember Billy Dee, right?
Yeah.
Star Wars. Lando.
Lando Calrissian.
Yeah. Lando, they had to pull out the big, because Colt 45 is so disgusting. They had to pull out the big guns to sell Colt 45. They got Billy Dee to make some commercials for it.
I remember I tried a Colt 45 once, and I drank less than half of it and poured it out.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah, this is a commercial from 1986.
Billy Dee Williams talks about the power of Colt 45.
You know, I've always heard about the power of Colt 45, but I was never sure exactly what that meant, so I got some, found out for myself.
Hey, Billy.
You free tonight?
Works every time. The power of Colt.
It's so good.
The power of Colt 45. You know what I do love? It's a little quibble, but the plot hole is he says, what did he say at the beginning?
So I never knew about the power of Colt
I never
45.
knew about the power of Colt 45. And then he opens it up and says, oh, works every time.
That's right. Look, I guess he's telling you, like, hey, before I tried Colt 45, I didn't know, but now I know.
Billy, you lying to me. I guess he's talking about anyway. All those Colt 45 commercials are really funny
Yes,
with Billy
they're
D.
classics.
Williams. If you just want to go back and check those out.
Got 2 rules for having a good time. Rule number 1, never run out of Colt 45. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. It's so good.
He's the smoothest man they ever was.
Freaking nasty Colt 45.
So anyway, it turns out if you go on YouTube, there are whole channels with just PSAs.
And one more recommendation for PSAs. Not exactly PSA, it's an album, actually. I thoroughly encourage everyone to look up. Is the McGruff Smart Kids album, which, if you remember, McGruff the crime dog, trying to tell kids about not doing drugs.
Take a bite out of crime.
Rough McGruff. Chicago, Illinois, 60652 or whatever it said. I forget. Yeah, the guy who started McGruff the Crime Dog, I think in the 70s, made an album called the Smart Kids album that's just all about not doing drugs. And those tracks are bangers.
You know, and it's just some guy, and he's like, I want to do something to help the kids and like to be my character. And I get it, like you want to make that, but could you just imagine like some kids like, dude, we got to get that new McGruff crime album and bringing it home and listening to it like, oh my God, this is so cool. And like telling their friends about it, saying, you got to buy this. Will you make me a mixtape? Or like
the song Cocaine and Crack is accidental comic genius because it has that like very nice melody in the background. And there's something about the fact the song is called Cocaine and Crack. And it starts in the line using crack and cocaine.
Don't you want to use cocaine and crack?
Yeah, play just a little bit of that.
All right, here we go. Cocaine and crack. Oh, yeah, baby. Banger.
Using crack and cocaine.
No one listens to the first
That's what you say.
Just right in the nose.
You might as well say, using crack and cocaine is really, really cool and you should do it.
And
isn't there something about putting music and like a fun time behind a song about crack and cocaine, even if you're trying to tell people not to use it? Like in the mind, does it not tell you like there's some association between good times, good music, crack and cocaine?
Right. And some of these songs are really catchy, honestly.
Listen to this.
But it's really insane. You could die. What are you thinking of?
I didn't know until today that guy was the guy doing the vocals is the guy who created McGruff the Crime Dog. I think in my mind it was always just some guy who like got busted and needed to do like community service, and this is just his community service.
You know why these don't work? Because you know that it's bullcrap. Like he says, don't do crack and cocaine because you could die. And it's like, does anybody think that if you do crack,
you thinking of?
Like, if you do crack, are you gonna die? No. If you do crack 10 times, you're going to die? No,
well,
probably not.
Look, people do it. They got to do it for some reason.
But how do you explain to a kid, well, listen, I mean, what happens is you get hooked on this drug. It slowly takes over your life. You start to abandon your responsibilities. Then you become irresponsible. You lose your job. You start stealing stuff from your mom and your sister. Nobody lets you over at their house anymore. You run out of money.
Look,
you sell your car. You're living on the street. It ruins your life.
That's why you got the cartoon dog.
How can a kid understand that?
That's why you got the cartoon dog telling
So you have to dumb it down to a point where they're not going to understand it anyway. And it's not going to work. And it's so hilarious. I appreciate... I mean, who takes advice anyway, dude? Who takes advice in their life? Has anybody ever come up to you and given you advice and you're like, yeah, I'll do that. And then you just do it?
Well, not a random
Nobody
person.
does.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Even people you love, like, listen, I think you should do this. Okay.
Well, that
go F yourself.
Here's a slight anecdote. I remember at the start of the COVID pandemic, I was in the grocery store. I was using some hand sanitizer on my hands.
Yeah.
And some guy walking out the store just looked at me and said, "It's not real, man." And it took me a second. I was like, "What?" He said, "Government made it up. It's not real, man."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay." In my mind, I'm like, why would I just like listen to you? Just some rando in the grocery store.
You know what's hard about that? It's impossible because behind that statement that he made is an entire thing that has to be unpacked. Like you'd have to talk to each other for 2 hours to unpack that statement.
Yeah,
but it's impossible to just say to express that to a stranger. So you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have to say something like, hey man, the government is lying to you, don't do that.
Yeah.
Which sounds crazy, and it might be crazy, but it's like there's a whole thing behind it. Same with PSAs, like there's a whole thing behind it. But the problem with PSAs is they still make drugs look cool as shit. And they still make smoking and drinking look cool. Like we were watching Reefer Madness.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, let's go find these kids and get them hooked on drugs. So these guys go find some kids and bring them over to their house.
Oh man. Oh fuck. Oh, that reminds me. Was that?
Are you okay?
No, I'm just remembering.
It's so funny. It hurts.
You said getting those kids hooked on drugs. It reminded me of this. God, is it a Michael Jackson music video? Is it that one where he like turns into the Transformer thing? It's like an hour long. It's like a movie they made into a music video.
That's Moonwalker, right?
Maybe, I don't remember.
That's the movie, right? Moonwalker.
But I remember it had like the comically evil drug dealer who's literally saying like, "I want every kid hooked on drugs."
Yes, that's the way Reefer Madness was. It's like they had these wicked adults who were targeting the children. Which again, there's truth in that, but the way they do it is hilarious.
Yeah, it's true, but you just can't take it seriously on a PSA. Yeah.
And anyway, so they get them over to their house, but what I was saying is it looks so cool because they get these teenagers to come over and they're like, dude, let's come on over. They got girls there.
Yeah.
They got music.
Yeah.
Everybody's dancing, smoking, drinking, having a good time. You're like, what's the problem?
It's like that
this is awesome.
That Dewey Cox bit where he's like, you don't want any part of this, dude. We're smoking marijuana.
Yes, that is exactly right. Listen, we got to find that.
Well, what? Will it kill me? No, it makes you feel really good. Does it make me not be able to have sex?
This is going to explain. This explains PSAs perfectly. Listen to this.
Get out of here, Dewey.
What are y'all doing in here?
We're smoking reefer. And you don't want no part of this shit.
You're smoking reefers?
Yeah, of course we are. Can't you smell it?
No, Sam. I can't.
Come on, Dewey. Join the party.
No, Dewey. You don't want this. Get out of here.
You know what? I don't want no hangover. I can't get no hangover.
It doesn't give you a hangover.
Well, I'll get addicted to it or something?
It's not habit forming.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know. I don't want to overdose on it.
You can't OD on it.
It's not going to make me want to have sex, is it?
It makes sex even better.
Oh.
It sounds kind of expensive.
It's the cheapest drug there is. You don't want it.
I think I kind of want it.
Okay, but just this once. Come on in.
That's it. That's PSAs. That's PSAs in a nutshell. All the good they're trying to do is undone because, hey, dude, drugs are cool. Chicks are around, music's playing, we're having a good time.
That's right.
I just want, the part where you get killed, I just won't do that part. Oh, man, I think that's the show today.
Oh, Lord. Oh, PSAs.
Look, PSAs are great. Let me be clear. I got no problem with PSAs. I think they're great. First of all, the entertainment value is off the charts.
They're entertaining, and to be clear, I'm sure most of these are probably coming from a good place.
Yeah.
It's just they're probably not very effective.
I don't want to be lame, but I want kids to grow up and do right and everybody to do their best and try hard and all that stuff. It's just that PSAs are funny. I mean, come on. PSAs are freaking funny.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have them anymore. They're freaking funny.
Yeah.
We had PSAs for like 15 years and then they just disappeared. And
there's
whatever.
no way they work.
They don't work and they can't
People
work.
just make fun of them.
It was a part of history. It was a part of time.
Yeah.
Part of TV history. They were great. And now it's over because they don't work. But it was a fun experiment.
I guess you don't know if it's going to work until you try it.
It was a fun experiment while it lasted. So listen, we're going to be talking about SST next week. If you don't know what that is.
SST Records.
Yeah. Greg Ginn, punk rock.
Put out tons of classic records in the 80s and now just kind of language is putting out whatever Greg Ginn wants. It's just his solo stuff, basically.
Yeah, if you listen to this, you don't know nothing about it, which is why it's going to be so interesting to you. So we're going to get into SST and why it's interesting next week. That's the show. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you want to laugh, go check out some PSAs. If you enjoyed the show right now, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Is it lame? Listen to some... Guys, smash that like button.
Look.
Is it lame? Listen, folks, we're trying to grow a channel here. All right, quit messing with me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. follow the show.
Give us your money.
Rate the show. Comment on the show. If you've got a PSA that you love, stick it in the comments because I'd love to watch it, and we'd all love to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, post some of your favorites.
Have a good week. We'll see you next time.